Glad you can make it. If I guest screener Julia with us today, Garrett's here.
Then a shower or thunderstorm, 80% likely afternoon and evening. Some possibly strong. Highs 73.
How we doing on Facebook and YouTube and everything else?
We are live.
Hi guys. Glad you could be here.
Facebook is on. YouTube is almost up.
On Peachtree Street at News
All right, here we go.
Follow.
AM 750 WUSB. Depend on it.
Dr. Joe Esposito.
Brought to you on WSB by Virtual Imaging. The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad you could be with us today. Today, we're talking not so much about nutrition. I know you guys like to talk about that, but we got to do a little different ideas every now and then. And studies are out now. It's kind of interesting that sitting is the new smoking. For a while there, smoking was a big issue, and of course that's kind of faded out. But now the millennials are getting into this vaping thing. We've done shows on that before, too, and how dangerous that is. Not a good idea to switch from regular smoking to vaping. But now we have this other problem with the younger generation. I'm not even sure what that generation is called, younger than millennials. What are they called, actually?
They are called Generation Z.
Generation Z. So the Zers among us are sitting and not doing anything. In fact, just last night I was out to dinner with a bunch of friends, and there were two, I'm guessing, Zers sitting across from each other on their phones, having dinner and not talking. And my one friend said to me, he said, why are they even out to dinner together? Because they're not even talking to each other. Why don't you just stay home? So it made an interesting point. But the Zers and some of the Xers and the millennials still are doing a lot of sitting. And it's becoming a real serious issue. So the more you sit, the shorter and less healthy your life is going to be. That's pretty much consensus among all the researchers. Even the World Health Organization lists inactivity, ready for this, as the fourth biggest killer of adults worldwide, responsible for 9% of premature deaths. The fourth biggest killer. So you got heart attack, cancer, iatrogenic disease, which means caused by the doctor, and that's not always a good thing. And now we're saying that the World Health Organization is calling this the fourth biggest killer of adults. And that's just sitting around doing nothing. Now, it's very tempting to sit around and do nothing because it's easy. But I'm going to talk today about things you can do to get active. You don't have to go out and hit the gym. You don't have to put on your Olivia Newton-John sweatpants and headband and let's get physical. Some of you are old enough to remember that. Most of you aren't. But you don't have to go do that. You can just do basic things every single day. And a simple thing that me and Garrett and Julia are doing right now and Ahmad's doing right now is standing. Simply standing is going to do some amazing things. We're going to talk about what happens when you stand. Medical literature now contains over 10,000 studies showing that frequent prolonged sitting at work and commuting, watching TV at night, significantly impacts your cardiovascular and metabolic function. That's some crazy stuff, man. It's affecting your heart. It's affecting your metabolism. It's affecting how you burn fat, how your brain works. So of great importance is the finding that prolonged sitting is an independent risk factor of poor health and early death. So studies have shown that these risks apply even if you're very fit and work out on a regular routine. What? What that's saying is, I'm going to cover it a few times, that gym rats are not exempt. So the problem is that an hour of exercise here and there, even though it's vigorous, cannot counteract the harm of sitting for most of the day, like most people do. So, for example, one study found that 6 hours of uninterrupted sitting effectively counteracts the positive effects of a whole hour of exercise. So if you're sitting for 6 hours a day, which most people are, and then you go work out at the gym for an hour, you're basically counteracting that. Now, I'm not saying don't work out. I'm saying don't sit for 6 hours. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really pretty easy. Now, it's pretty clear you need intense exercise and daily intermittent, or what we call non-exercise movement, in order to obtain and maintain good health. So you don't have to be, like I said, putting on your sneakers and hitting a gym. It's a matter of choosing. It's not a matter of choosing one or the other. You have to have both. So you have to keep the body in motion, and then you have to have these bursts of hardcore activity. This last weekend, I cleaned my garage. And I had a bunch of tile. I did some renovations. I took the tiles upstairs, brought them downstairs. And so that was intense activity for several hours. And then throughout the day, you'd want to not sit so much. Because as a chiropractor, we look at the spine, of course, for the point of our philosophy of health, is you have to have a normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. And if you have back pain, how many people have back pain? Raise your hands. A lot of you. In fact, most of you do. And if you have back pain, the best position to be in to take the stress off the spine is laying down. Now, most of us can't run our lives laying down. The second best position to be in is standing. And the worst position to be in when you have back pain and put stress on the discs is sitting. And most of us sit all day. So what's happening is, I've been in practice almost 35 years now. What we found is years ago, we didn't see a lot of the injuries that we're having today. We saw a lot more physical injuries because people were more physical 30 years ago. Now we're getting texting neck or text neck, where people are bent over all day. We're getting people with low back injuries. And when I say what was the cause of injury? Several decades ago, we'd hear, well, I was working out, I was doing yard work, I was lifting, I was bending, I was squatting. Now, what am I hearing? I just sit at my desk all day and it hurts. So just sitting is causing so many more problems. Now, it's job security for me and my doctors, that's great, but I'd rather you don't have to come see us. So there's plenty of people out there that have to come see us. If you can avoid doing the things that cause you to have to come see us as chiropractors, that's what the goal of today's show is. So intermittent movement, the key, for example, is to avoid sitting for more than 50 minutes out of every hour. Okay, if you're sitting more than 50 minutes an hour, you need to get up and move. Now, if you want to sit for a maximum of 3 hours a day, now that's a far cry from today's society. So no more than 50 minutes an hour, no more than 3 hours a day. Man, that sounds like tough. It is tough, but it's easy to do. I'm teasing you here. You got to keep listening to find out what to do. Average American office worker sits 13 to 15 hours a day. You sit at work. You might get up for lunch. Some people don't even get up for lunch. They might get up, walk to their car, drive home, go home, sit at home, watch TV, fall asleep. So 13 to 15 hours a day sitting, really, really bad for the spine and also bad for your metabolism. Because again, as a chiropractor, I want to get you a healthy nervous system. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, chances are you have pinched nerves. And when you're sitting, you're making that problem actually worse. So an hour of sitting can cut off the arterial flow about in half. So if you sit for an hour, the arterial flow in your legs can be cut down by half. There's I thought I heard music coming in there. Okay, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. I got to take a break. We're talking today about sitting is the new smoking. Now, if you have any healthcare questions, doesn't have to be about sitting, anything in healthcare field, you can give us a call here at the studio. The number is 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, over 1,000 hours of podcasts. You can send us questions on the website. We're going to talk about supplements you can take, too. Those are on the website. And if you want to make an appointment to come see us, you can do that on the website, drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back.
How important the news, weather, and traffic.
Switching the audio in between.
Okay. Any questions on any of our social medias?
We have one woman who went to the doctor and her TSH level showed 13.440.
Okay.
Nothing else to do with that. Just what is your take on?
That's it? Well, that's a real tough question because it could be a lot of different things. It could be a thyroid situation, could be a pituitary situation. So what you want to do is follow up with your doctor. Yes.
She put some more.
Okay, give me more information. That wasn't enough information for me.
She says she didn't check T3 or T4 and wants me on levothyroxine. Is this legit, or do you have a better way?
Well, if the thyroid stimulating hormone, you really want to go a little deeper. I like what you're thinking. Get the T3 and T4. Those are thyroid 3 and thyroid 4. By the way, in case you're wondering what the T stands for, the T3 and T4 is how many molecules of iodine are attached to that hormone. So T3 has 3 molecules of iodine, T4 has 4 molecules of iodine. T4 has to be converted into T3 in the liver. So just because you have a high thyroid stimulating hormone, that's what I was saying, we need more information, I would recommend you do get your T3 measured, and your bound and your free T3 as well, and then you'll have more information. But right at this point, I can't give you any more advice. My advice would be to find out more information. So, more questions?
Does Super Greens really work?
Garrett?
So far, so good for me. It's only been 10 months.
Yeah, right, and you're loving it. I don't think a day goes by where we don't get amazing responses from our patients, from people on Facebook, Instagram, email, because Super Green Essential Source, we send them all over the world. It's, excuse me, the minimum amount of nutrients that you need every single day. Even if you have a good diet. I eat a really good diet. I still take Super Greens and Essential Source every day. I take a scoop of each. Essential Source is fruits and vegetables dried. We juice it, take the water out at very low temperature, so all the enzymes are preserved. Then we have prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and a complete multivitamin. The essential source alkalizes the system, gives you a ton of minerals. I couldn't imagine a day going by without taking the super greens and essential source every day. And most people that start taking it say the exact same thing. So the answer is yes.
And if you want a real testimony, outside of just that,
Okay.
go check out his blog article on macular degeneration. It'll show literal improvement over the last 8-9 years.
Yes. So I have, in case you're new to the show, I have macular degeneration. I was diagnosed about 9 years ago, and they said you're basically going to go blind. There's not much you can do about it. It might slow down a little bit. Chances are you're just going to go blind from it. I don't accept that. So I started taking Super Greens and Essential Source every day, and on my website, drjoe.com, under my blog, go into media, and then it'll say blog, read the article on my eyes. We actually have the pictures of my eyes, the macular degeneration, healing over time. And every time an eye doctor sees this, they lose their mind. They're like, this is impossible. Macular degeneration never gets better. This is unheard of. I have the pictures to prove it.
There's a whole new study going on just about your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, the researchers are going, this is unbelievable, what's going on? So the macular degeneration researchers are actually looking at my case. So in my case, obviously, it saved my vision. And people come back and say all the time, I have more energy, I sleep better, I go to the bathroom better, I have a positive mood. I couldn't imagine taking it. And here's my challenge to you. Take it for a month, but make sure you take it every day. A scoop of Super Greens and a scoop of Essential Source. Mix it with coconut milk or almond milk, shake it up and drink it. Do it for a month religiously. And then you tell me the results you'll get, as most people do. Yes?
So as a truck driver, I sit for a long time.
Oh,
Do you
yes.
still recommend me pulling over every 50 minutes to walk around for 5?
Absolutely. I used to be a truck driver based out of Secaucus, New Jersey. I did New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the tri-state area. And yes, every 50 minutes, pull over, walk around for 10 minutes, get back in the truck again. You're going to get so much more work done by doing that. You think, I can't take 10 minutes, an hour to stop. You'll be amazed how much more work you get done and how much better you feel by doing that. So absolutely, positively, yes.
You really were a truck driver?
I was a truck driver in Secaucus, New Jersey.
I always thought you said that because you only ever bring it up when you talk about your language, when you're like...
When I talk funny like this here?
Yeah. Some people will say, like, I'm sorry, I'm talking like a sailor.
Yes.
I never...
I really was a truck
you were a truck driver.
Secaucus, New Jersey, Val's Express. Don't even
How
know if they're
old
still
were you
around.
then?
I think I was 17 or 18. Yeah. I used to deliver stereos to Harlem and concentrated frozen pineapple, a ton thing of frozen pineapple, and we just deliver everything. So, another question. Yes, I'm sorry, I digress.
How safe are ketogenic diets?
Well, somebody's calling up about that. On a ketogenic diet, reach its goal. What's the best way to come off it? If you're gonna do the ketogenic diet, do we have that as a show coming up?
Yes, we are doing a full-on show just for the ketogenic diet.
To get healthy,
Oops.
Dr. Joe
comes the
Esposito is on. Live at AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Sorry, we live stream the shows, and at break I talked to the folks on Facebook and Instagram and everything, and I was chatting right with somebody, and the mod's waving to me like, "Get back on the air." I said, "Sorry about that." By the way, follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitch, and because we live stream the shows, and we also take those videos and then put them on our website, drjoe.com, so you can actually watch the show, or you can listen to it either way, whatever makes you happy. So what we're talking about today is sitting is the new smoking, and it really is become a really big issue. And right before the break, we started talking about arterial flow, and this is important because as a chiropractor, I want to make sure the nervous system is working, but we also want to make sure the blood supply is working. Because the way the body works is the brain sends messages down the spine, out the nerves to every cell in the body. And as the nerve exits the spine, it wraps around blood vessels. So the blood vessels and nerves are wrapped around each other. And so if you have a pinched nerve, you also have a pinched blood vessel. So that's not good. Now, sitting can affect arterial flow, the flow of blood supply. The lack of muscular contraction caused by sitting decreases the blood flow to your body and reduces the efficiency of all your biological processes. You need blood to bring nutrients into the area, to flush waste products out. Blood supply is really, really important. So in addition to engaging in regular exercise, people should be encouraged to also think what they're doing when they're sitting for long periods of times and not exercising. So you're sitting there for hour after hour, it becomes an issue. Even on an airplane. I always want to make sure I get the aisle seat because I like to get up and walk. Because if sitting for an hour puts pressure on the blood vessels. A recent study in this field found that just 1 hour of sitting impaired blood flow to the main leg artery by as much as 50%. So every hour spent sitting is found to reduce the risk of, every hour not sitting, reduces the risk of heart disease. So just getting up and walking is going to help circulation. Now, when you're young, you have good heart, you have strong muscles, you have good blood vessels, and as you get older, the blood vessels get weaker. Now, diet has a lot to do with what's going on in your body, too, because if you're sitting, you put pressure on the blood vessels. But if you eat a bad diet, you eat an acid diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, these acids are eating away at your blood vessels and actually making the blood vessels weaker. And so as you get older, blood vessels are going to get weaker. Bad diet, blood vessels are going to get weaker. Sitting a lot, you're not getting good circulation. Because your heart's pretty strong. It can pump blood all throughout your body, but muscle contraction facilitates or helps the blood supply, helps the veins pump the blood back up to the heart. If you're sitting all day, you're putting a major stress on your heart. I'm going to start taking some callers. If you have any healthcare questions whatsoever, the number here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. And that number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. Kevin, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe, I love your show.
Thank you.
And I've got a question. I've been pretty active my whole life, but once I reached my 40s, I gained a good bit of weight, about 40, 45 pounds.
Ooh, okay.
And so my wife kind of talked me into kind of a trick diet, and I went on it, and it was the keto diet, and that was in September. So here we are. Back down to 179 pounds. I'm feeling good about the weight, but I just watch and see so many bad results of people that lose the weight and the typical scenario. And I am very active, so just wondering what sort of thoughts you have on easily coming off of this ridiculous diet.
Yes. Well, again, I like the word ridiculous that you put in there. If you're going to do the ketogenic diet, I recommend you only do it for about 2 months at a time. And that's what the research is showing now, because long-term ketogenic diet is increasing your risk of heart disease. So by doing 2 months on and then you want maybe 2 or 3 months off. But here's the thing. Once you've lost the weight, Kevin, now you just need to keep it off. And it's not hard to do. It's easy. The things that are going to put the weight on, as you know from the ketogenic diet, are the carbs, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, potato chips. So you just got to not eat those anymore. So that's pretty simple to do. So just don't eat those. You really want to increase your raw food. So I want you to have at least a salad a day, because salad has things in it called enzymes, and enzymes are going to help the biological process and your metabolism. When you eat a lot of cooked food, your metabolism really slows down. So something raw at every meal. Broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad. I would suggest Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Countless people over the years say to me, Dr. Joe, when I take this, I eat less. I don't have the sugar cravings, and I have so much more energy. So you might want to consider the Super Greens and the Essential Source as well, and just stay away from the carbs. That's really going to be your secret.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Man, I love your show. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate the call. And folks, if you have a question, the number here at the studio is 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. So we're saying that sitting is the new smoking. And as soon as you stand up, a series of molecular mechanisms at the cellular level set off a cascade of activities that are really important to impact the cellular function in your muscles. So just by standing, the body starts to work more efficiently. The way your body handles blood sugar is impacted, for example. If you're sitting a lot, the sugar gets converted into fat. If you're standing, the sugar is more likely to be utilized by the cells as fuel. So the disease prevention for diabetes, you got to stay up and stay moving. And one of the things I teach all my diabetic patients is you got to cut out the sugars. You got to get moving. You got to stay in motion. And you got to cut out the sugars, the breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pasta. So it's not just the plain sugar that you put, white sugar. It's everything. And here's the other thing. We did a show on this a couple of weeks ago. You got to eat fiber. And that's what I was telling it was Kevin, is that if you're eating fiber, it's going to push the food through your colon, raw foods, breads, salads, nuts, seeds. As the food gets pushed through the colon, the fiber is going to block up some of those sugar receptor sites. That's where sugar gets absorbed. So not only is it helping you by eating the fiber to push it through keep your bowels moving, but you're going to absorb less sugar. And that's what we're shooting for there. So it's really important that you stay on a diet that has something raw at every meal, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, because the fiber is so important. And most people don't get nearly enough fiber. And when you start going to a more plant-based diet and you start eating that fiber and your bowels start moving, you start losing weight and you start having more energy, you're going to say what all my patients say: why didn't I do this sooner? I hear that with chiropractic issues. I hear it with nutrition issues, digestive issues. Why didn't I do this sooner? And my answer is always, I don't know. But the minimum things you should be doing right now is Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Those are on the website, drjoe.com. They're 2 powders. I mix them together, shake them up with coconut milk or almond milk and drink it. Tastes great. I couldn't imagine a day without it. And I really want you to consider that. And that's my challenge. Take it for a month. And when you start seeing the changes, you'll say, yeah, I want to get on automatic reorder for that. All right, let's start taking some more callers. How we doing on time? Yeah, we got time for another caller here. Kenneth, how can we make your day better?
Yes, sir, Dr. Joe. I heard you say arugula is great for blood circulation.
Yes.
Is there a good way to ingest it? Because it's kind of rough tasting raw.
It's a little bitter, yeah. So what I do is I get a scissor and just chop it up in smaller pieces, and then I mix it in with other salad. And so you don't have to eat it by itself, but it has a bitter taste to it. And I personally like the bitter taste. But arugula is loaded with nitrates, and the nitrates convert into nitric oxide. Beets are high in nitrates, too. Arugula is about 10 times the amount of nitrates as beets. So just mix it in as part of your salad, and as you get more used to it, you can add more and more to your salad.
Okay, and that was going to be my next question. Is there not too much you can eat?
No, you're not going to eat too much. No, I don't know anyone you could possibly eat too much arugula. No, so you'll be fine with it. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate it. See, folks, that's what folks learn in this show. All right, if you're on hold, keep holding, folks. And we've got a lot of callers here. We're going to have to go to a break pretty soon, and I don't want to get in the middle of one of your questions and then come back. So if you're on hold, keep holding. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe, my website. Over 1,000 hours of podcasts. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. The website is drjoe.com. And again, the supplements are there. A lot of good information. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of these shows. So you really want to learn this stuff because this is healthcare that really, really works. And we try to make it fun. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. I'll be right back.
Message and data rates.
Okay. There we go. All right. So back to where were we? The keto question 10 minutes ago?
Yes.
What was the question? I just remember keto.
Just your opinion.
My opinion. Again, we talked about it with the listener. If you're going to do it 2 months on, then take a break. Once you lose the weight, go to my website, drjoe.com. And everybody should do this. This is your homework assignment. I want you to watch a video. It's under Dr. Joe's videos, I think it is, right? Yeah. Under media. I want you to watch the lecture we did called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition. And then I want you to type in, so what can I eat, in the search bar. And that's an audio. So I want you to listen to The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition and so what can I eat? And that's going to lay out exactly what you need to do as you come off the ketogenic diet or any diet, because that's what you should be doing every day. More questions?
What health effects improvements can I expect from eating 1 clove of garlic every night?
Well, you're going to have a lot less boyfriends and girlfriends because you're going to stink now. And that's good for your brain. So. Garlic, it will help with circulation. It's an antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. So you may not see something immediately, but what it's doing is it's helping the immune system work more efficiently and also helping with circulation. So here's a little trick. You don't want to just eat the clove. Run it through a garlic press. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. Because there's chemicals in there that have to interact with each other. And it takes about 5 minutes once they're exposed to the air to interact. Then you can eat it, put it on a salad, put it in soup. You don't have to eat it just plain. And if you want to eat parsley, parsley helps cover up the garlic breath. That's a nice little trick you can do. So you may not see something immediately, but it's really going to help the immune system and the circulatory system tremendously. Make sure it's organic garlic, too.
Is BHT good for the body?
No. It's a preservative. No.
What is BHT?
Can't remember the chemical name for it. It's a preservative. You've seen a lot of foods. It's not good for you.
Okay. I'll give you a question.
Go ahead. Julia has a question.
What if you have bad ankle joint problems and you can't stand? Is kneeling a good alternative?
Kneeling would be a good alternative, actually. Yes. Okay. Because gravity is going to be the thing you're looking at.
No, making fun of me.
Now, gravity is the thing you're looking at. But if you have ankle and joint problems, you should get adjusted to put those joints back in place so that the ankle can heal when it's lined up.
At 7:30,
very important.
Also, just sore feet, you know?
And sore feet. Nothing like a foot adjustment, I'll tell you. There's 206 bones in the body. My doctors can adjust any one of them. So.
Does he adjust you?
Yeah.
Of course she gets adjusted, yes. Everybody gets adjusted here, except for mine. So.
Ooh.
What did you have for breakfast?
I had for breakfast today. I had oatmeal with raisins, just cold, with some coconut milk on it. I had an orange, of course, Super Green's an essential source, that goes without saying, and all my other supplements. And then lunch, I had some chili. I made some vegan chili today. And then I had a salad. That's all I ate today so far.
What do you think of iridology?
Iridology. It's a pretty cool stuff, actually. It's studying the eyes. And according to the iridologists, different marks in your eyes correlate to different organs in the body or different disease processes. So an iridologist can say, okay, you might have a kidney issue, you might have a liver issue. I wouldn't use it as my only diagnostic tool. I would use it in addition to other diagnostic tools. It's pretty cool though. It's pretty accurate too.
What would you recommend for healthier looking skin? Any natural things or veggies?
Yeah, well, once you go to a plant-based diet, your skin is going to do amazingly well. I mean, no one doesn't see amazing results with their skin when you go to a plant-based diet. So listening to the, yes?
Oh, I was going to say, you can make all-natural vegan salt scrubs and sugar scrubs.
That's true. You can do that too. You could go online, look it up, salt scrubs and sugar scrubs.
A lot of the problem, though, is hormones.
Yes.
And not only hormones, but how much oil you're taking in.
Yes, you have to make sure you're getting enough good oil. If you're putting in omega-6 fatty acids like canola oil or vegetable oils, soy oils, corn oils, that's going to be bad for your skin. Some small amounts, but enough of olive oils, nuts, seeds, coconuts, coconut oil, that's going to be good. You can also use coconut oil on your skin directly. It absorbs pretty quickly, and it's really good for the skin as well. But once you go to a plant-based diet, you're going to see amazing things happen to your skin. No one has ever come to me and said, I went to a plant-based diet and I didn't see amazing results. And it really keeps you looking young. Mm-hmm. I'm 107. Maybe
in dog years.
In dog years, yes. No, everybody pegs me for about 10 or 15 years younger than I am, which I'm okay with.
How bad is dyeing your hair?
Very bad.
On this subject.
Yes, very, very bad. There's a lot of chemicals in there. Now, you can go to health food stores and they have these natural dyes. They don't last as long. They're not as vibrant.
What?
However, Julia, question?
Oh, I mean, I dyed my hair with I used black, so it was pretty. But I mean, the black one, it worked for a month, probably solid black, and then it faded to like a dark red.
And that was the natural one, yeah.
Yeah.
So they work fine, yeah. So if you're going to do it, make sure you do a natural one.
Yeah.
Now, without going too deep into it, what is your opinion, because we are running out of time, on fasting, either daily, weekly, etc.?
Yes, fasting is great. You really want to eat, in a perfect world, you eat for about 8 to 10 hours a day and then fast the rest of the time. I'd like you to do something called intermittent fasting at least 2 or 3 times a week. And what that is you either skip breakfast or dinner. And so what happens is when you eat a meal, it takes 8 hours for your body to metabolize it on average. After that, you go into fat burning mode. So if you're eating every 8 hours, 8 times 3 is 24, you're really not getting into the fat burning mode. So if you can eat, if you ate breakfast and lunch or maybe a late lunch and then skip dinner, after 8 hours from your last meal, your body's going into fat burning mode. And it really is great for your metabolism, for your energy, for balancing hormones, for detoxifying the body. So it really is a neat thing to do. And so fasting is awesome. And there's different types of fasting. Intermittent fasting, you do water fasting. When people fast, many times they'll take super greens and essential source, shake it up with water, and drink that. So there's many different ways to do it. But the less food you put in your body, to a point, the better you're going to be. As long as it's high quality food, you don't need as much anyway. So yes, I support fasting, and I do it on a regular basis. More questions?
Are gluten allergies a farce?
No, absolutely not. Because gluten is a protein. It's made of gliadin and glutenin, and different components from there. So when they get absorbed into the body, the wheat gluten we're talking about here looks very similar to the lining of your colon. So the immune system will attack the gluten as a foreign protein, and then oftentimes can attack your colon lining as well. So absolutely positively not. Now, here's another problem. A lot of wheat allergies may not be wheat allergies. It might be a glyphosate allergy. Because what's happening now in modern days, we spray weed killer, glyphosate, on the wheat to kill it. It's easier to harvest.
And see, that was his question, I was reading that a lot of the allergies are actually from the
glyphosate, yeah.
Not from the wheat itself. So is wheat as a whole...
wheat as a whole is a bad thing because it's still loaded with sugar. Even if it's organic, it's still sugar. Not a good idea. A lot of people have the gluten allergies, and a lot of people have the glyphosate allergies. So the bottom line is, don't eat it. There's nothing good about it. Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Oh, we're just having fun here in the studio at the break here. So anyway, talking today about sitting is the new smoking and how dangerous it is and how it affects your metabolism, how it affects your circulatory system, puts pressure on the spine. As a chiropractor, of course, my main concern is making sure your spine is working the best it possibly can. And the molecular effects that happen when gravity is put on the body. If you're sitting, you don't have all those gravitational effects that are good for you, actually. I got a bunch of callers. I'm going to take some more callers. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Sandra, how can we make your day better?
Hi, Dr. Joe. I love your show.
Well, thank you.
Good. Well, I'm a telephonic nurse case manager.
Yes.
And I'm in front of the computer, making calls, taking calls all day long. What is a quick exercise that I can do for maybe a minute?
Sure.
Maybe once an hour, just to get my circulation going.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to cover this a little later, but I'll give you a little preview here. What I want you to do is drink a lot of water. Okay, I drink water up till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This way I don't wake up and pee all night. But drink a lot of water, and then you have to get up every hour and go pee. So that's a great way to do it. Now, if you're a nurse, you're on the phone, stand up and just do calf raises. Just stand up on your toes. And that's going to contract your muscles, and that's going to help tremendously. You can do squats while you're on the phone. And you could just bend over and just do little squats here and there. So if you can do any type of exercise, sitting at your desk, stand up, do squats, do the leg raisers, walk to the bathroom, that's going to be perfect, for 10 minutes every hour.
Okay, maybe walk to the bathroom because I'm constantly charting and typing at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not possible to do squats and type and
take
talk.
a 10-minute break between calls then. A 10-second break, I'm sorry, and just do 10 calf raises. And then after the next call, do 10 squats. Just do something. Okay? That'll work. Okay. And you'll be amazed at what that little bit's going to do. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. Appreciate the call. All right. If you have a question, folks, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Joanne, how can we make your day better?
Hi. I was wondering if you can tell me super greens, if there's an equivalent for people that would be safe for people that are on Coumadin blood thinners to take because we have to limit the amount of greens that we can eat.
Right, your vitamin K is what you're looking for. Well, here's the thing with Super Greens and Essential Source. I have this disclaimer, I think it's on the website too, is when you start taking it, tell your doctor, listen, I'm taking these, most doctors, especially in the area, know who I am. I'm taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. You can bring it in with you. I say, listen, I'm going to be taking this every day. I want you to monitor my blood, and then I want you to modify my medication around my diet, as opposed to modifying your diet around your medication. Does that make sense?
Right, but the thing is, I don't want to increase the amount of Coumadin I have to take. I don't even like taking the amount that I do. So I was wondering if there's something equivalent that wouldn't be.
Here's what usually happens, okay? I had to give you my disclaimer there to cover my fanny. But what usually happens is when you start eating a good diet and you start taking Super Greens and Essential Source, many patients report they actually reduce their amount of medication. Because is the plan just to take Coumadin for the rest of your life? Right now, yes.
I have to.
Okay. But if we get the body healthy, chances are you can reduce the medication. And that's what usually happens. So that's what I would suggest.
I was going to say the only thing is when you've had a mechanical valve replaced, you can't go off Coumadin. So.
I understand. But what happens?
Thanks very much.
I'll answer the question for you, Joe. When I give blood, my blood comes out about twice as fast as everybody else's. Okay, like if I go to Red Cross or whatever, I donate blood, which I do a lot. I have to tell them, watch my blood. It comes out faster than everyone else's. And they're like, yeah. And then they go, oh my gosh, it really is. When you're healthy, your blood flows so much smoother. And then it's naturally thinning. So my blood clots very quickly too. So you're going to have better circulation. And then also things like nitric oxide. We have a supplement called nitric oxide that can open up your blood vessels and increase circulation as well. But most people, and I understand, my father had a heart valve, so I totally get what you're talking about. Mick Jagger just had one, as a matter of fact. He had an aortic valve put in. But when you get healthy and your blood gets thinner, most people need less medication. So try and see if I'm right. If I'm wrong, so what? I'm wrong. But I'm right. Okay? Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the thing, folks. I just had somebody come in to do a sample of my blood. There's some company that wants to show me the blood work that they do, and they want us to, of course, promote their company. So they sent a phlebotomist into our office, and she drew the blood, and she goes, "My gosh, your blood comes out so good, and look at how bright red it is." And then as soon as she pulled the needle out, she put a Band-Aid over it, and I bent my elbow a little bit, and then when I straightened it out, she goes, "You clotted already?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's called normal." And most people are average, but they're not normal. So it really is amazing what happens when you get healthy on so many different levels, including things like donating blood. I love to give blood because I figure somebody's scoring a good pint of blood right there from somebody who's healthy. Let's keep taking some callers at 844-44-Dr.Joe. Alvin, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Joe, how you doing, sir?
I'm very well.
Great. Question. I had a car accident, and I'm trying to recover for surgery. And I'm kind of sitting, but I'm struggling to get up and move.
Sure.
How many hours a day do I need to walk?
Well, if you could start with 10 minutes an hour, that would be tremendous. And again, you don't have to go out and do a marathon. Just walk from the kitchen to the living room and back and forth if you can. If you can do 10 minutes an hour, once you start feeling good, go to 12 minutes an hour, then maybe 13 minutes an hour. And eventually, the more you walk, the better off you're going to be.
Okay. I wrote about mass my body. Is it going to restore the mass?
Oh, yeah, because what's going to happen when you're sitting, we're going to talk about that a little later if we have time. The bones start to deteriorate. The muscles deteriorate very quickly, especially the older you are, the faster it happens. And so that's why movement is so important after a car accident or any type of injury. You want to do as much rehab as you can, and everyone's different. So if you can walk 10 minutes an hour, that's great. And if you're doing great for 2 or 3 days, let's increase it to 15 and then 20. And you'll heal a lot faster, too.
And my muscles and my cells and the match will restore.
Yes, that's the goal. Yes, we're going to talk about that coming up. Yeah, the cells have to be restored by movement, and that's the only thing that's going to restore them is movement. So you got to get up and move it. Yeah. And also, if you've been in an accident, even after surgery, you probably need chiropractic care as well. A lot of surgeons will send their cases to us because we work on putting the bones back in place. They do the surgical work, and then we realign everything that was misaligned. So we work very closely with a lot of surgeons around the area.
Yeah, my muscles real pain. Every time I get up, I have pain. Because of the stress.
Sure.
Of the, from the surgery and everything, and try to get muscles. I don't want to be in shock because of the trauma.
Sure, I understand.
The accident.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to come see us, we'd be more than happy to see you. Just go to my website, drjoe.com. We can set it up because if you were damaged bad enough to need surgery, you're also damaged bad enough to need some realignments as well. So we'd be more than happy to take a look at that for you. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Alvin. Appreciate it. Yeah, and folks, if you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. You are not stronger than your car. And I have patients come to me right after the accidents, and that's the best thing. As soon as you can get to us, the better. So if the car was damaged, you were damaged. But I have people come to me 20, 30, 50 years later, and I look at their x-rays, and they're all degenerated. They have arthritis, and I'll say, gosh, this is probably 20, 30 years old. And almost every day, someone goes, oh, that was right. I had a real bad accident 20, 30 years ago. So if the bones are out of alignment, they rub up against each other, and they wear out. That's called osteoarthritis. And if you pinch a nerve, it hurts, but 90% of the nerves don't feel pain. So you can have a pinched nerve and not know it. So that's why it's really important. If you had any type of trauma, sports injuries, slip and fall, car accidents, it's really a good idea to come see us to let us evaluate that. And if it's something we think we can help, we'll tell you. If it's something we don't think we help, we'll tell you that too. Got to go to break, folks. If you have a question, and lines are open here, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We're talking about sitting is the new smoking today. So the website is there 24 hours a day for a podcast. If you have questions, you can send them to the website. The supplements we talk about all on the website, available at drjoe.com. And nice part about websites, they're there 24 hours a day. So whenever you're up, they're up. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. to make an appointment today because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. I gotta pay attention to Ahmad here, man. I keep drifting off here. What'd you do?
I got stuff in my cut.
Ow. That'll hurt, huh?
Did you see the guy that commented back when the woman was saying, what's up with the commercials in between your spots? Because some of them are not so healthy.
Right, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
That was cool.
I said, I don't run radio stations. Whoever's buying time, they buy time. I can't control what the commercials are. I can't control the content of the show, though. Yes.
Oh,
Monica. Yes, questions? Questions?
What do you think of CBD oil for pain management and to help anxiety?
I think it's excellent. Make sure you get full spectrum. Make sure you try to get organic if you can. Right now, CBD is the wild, wild west. And anybody can put out something and call it CBD oil, and so there's not always good stuff out there. So if you're going to get a product, make sure it's a good, high-quality product. Once again, CBD oil, just like medication, is treating the symptom, not necessarily getting to the cause. So along with CBD, I'd recommend chiropractic care. If you have anxiety, many times it's digestive problems. If the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm, you're not digesting your food properly, and that can cause the body not to absorb amino acids. The amino acid tryptophan becomes serotonin in your brain, and many times when you have anxiety, it's a serotonin issue. So if we can actually adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm and get you absorbing your nutrients and your amino acids, a lot of that anxiety goes away. And I've been dealing with cases like this for over 30 years now, and in most cases, we get amazing results. So I'm okay with the CBD oil, but again, try to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. Más preguntas? More questions?
Yes. So here's one. Well, I had centralized colon cancer. They got it all, but want to do chemo. What type of superfoods do I need?
Oh, well, that's a really good question, actually. Again, I'm not here to tell you to do chemo, not to do chemo. We did a show a couple of weeks ago. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Was it I Have Cancer, Now What? Was that the name of the show?
I've been diagnosed with cancer. Now what?
Yeah, so we did a whole 2 hours on that. So you can go to the website, listen to that, and watch that if you like. Just go into media and type it in the search bar there. So feel free to do that.
That was a great show.
It was, yeah. Okay, so you might want to catch that. Super Green's an essential source, absolutely, because cancer loves sugar. So absolutely no sugar. Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, no sugar.
Careful with dairy.
And dairy is loaded with sugar. Yep. Yes, and dairy is like throwing gasoline on cancer, so you don't want to do that. Some cancers. Super Green's an essential source, alkalizes the system, which is exactly where you want to be, more alkaline. So I would go Super Green's essential source, B complex, adrenal support, those 4 from the website, drjoe.com, and then listen to that show. You'll get a lot more information.
Now, somebody's comparing you as a chiropractor to a body mechanic.
I like it. LPAP number is high. What can she do about it? Okay. I don't know what LPAP is. Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, so many health conditions are physical, not chemical. And in medicine, we're always treating it chemically. We're never addressing the physical components. And that's why chiropractic is so popular and growing in leaps and bounds, and why chiropractic schools are pumping out chiropractors left and right, and most of them are doing very well, because it's a structural issue. If a bone is out of place, there's not a pill in the world that's going to put the bone back in place. You need manual manipulation. You need an adjustment for that. There's 206 bones in the body. My doctors can adjust any one of the 206. More questions?
Let's see here.
748, the Cool Ray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. New crash blocking the ramp from
Yeah.
75 southbound to 85 northbound at Brookwood. It's right there at the
But I do have a great review that came in the other day.
Give us a great review, quickly.
Quickly. Okay, well, that's not a quick one.
Okay, next break. Save that one.
Very dedicated to his work and truly wants to help everyone feel their best.
Whoever that is,
and I
thank you.
Suburbs trips are moving fairly well.
I'm going to close the door quietly, not slam it.
I don't even know how you slammed that door. It weighs so much.
The doors here in the studio weigh, I don't know, a couple hundred pounds probably.
Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking today about how sitting is the new smoking, and how so many people are now having problems because of sitting. And not just chiropractic issues. Well, sitting a lot, of course, can hurt your back and your neck, and you're hunched over. So there can be chiropractic issues. Again, it's great job security for me. I probably shouldn't tell you how to fix it. Just come see us. But it's also affecting your metabolism. It's affecting the blood supply. It's affecting the nerve supply. And it's so important you get that fixed. So I really think the answer is to stand up as much as possible. You want to walk for about 5 minutes every hour, and sitting is going to the least amount you have to sit. And somebody called up earlier and she said she sits a lot. Well, between calls, she takes calls. She's a nurse. Stand up and do some stand up on your toes, stand up on your heels, do some squats. Just get moving every hour. It's so important to get up and moving. And drinking water. That's so important because so many people are dehydrated. And as a chiropractor, my team of doctors, we look at your nervous system, we look at your digestive system, we look at your muscles. And the muscles so many times are dehydrated. They're like dried up sponges. And if we can get people drinking water, they're going to respond so much more positively to the chiropractic. They're going to respond in a more positive manner to eating a good diet. So drinking water is so, so important. And that's another little thing you can do is get up and pee. If you drink a lot of water, you got to get up and pee, which is something that's good as well. Because I know some of you are thinking to yourself, Dr. Joe, there's no way I can do what you're telling me to do. I can't get up. I have to drive an hour to work every day, 2 hours to work every day. We had a truck driver before say, what do I do? What you do is every 10 minutes an hour, pull over, walk around your truck for 10 minutes and get back in. You're going to get your job done faster by doing that. I know it doesn't make sense taking 10 minutes every hour out of your day, but you're going to feel so much better. You're going to be more alert. You're going to be safer on the roads. And when you start doing this, I promise you, wow, what a difference that makes. And I'm enjoying my job. I'm having more fun at it. I'm not as stressed out. I'm probably going to live a lot longer. So just pull over. Pull over to the side of the road, walk around for 10 minutes, and get back in again. All right, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We've got lots of callers. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. JC, how can we make your day better?
My question is, what's in salads?
What's in salads? Boy, that's a great question. That could be just about anything. If you go into the produce section of the grocery store, there's a lot of things you may have never even used before. Napa cabbage, maybe spinach. You can use cilantro, parsley, onions put in there, radishes. So there's a lot of things. Jicama is something that you can shred up and put in your salads. That's great, too. So really, whatever you like in your salads is fine. I'm Italian. We ate a lot of tomato salads. You can do coleslaw, shredded up cabbages. So really, any type of vegetable is going to go great in a salad. And then if it's not enough to hold you over, you can add some beans to the salad or some nuts. I like sunflower seeds in my salads. So you can make up whatever you like. And in my book, the first book I wrote, it's called Eating Right for the Health of It. We have a whole chapter on salads and salad dressings because so many people have that question, what do I put on my salad? And you can use apple cider vinegar, you can use olive oil, you can use lemon juice. That book has a whole chapter on it. So as long as it's organic and natural, I want you to try it and try different things and see what you like. Okay? Oh, okay. Gone. Oh, he disappeared on me. Okay, good. And also, if you don't know what to put on your salad, that's actually a real good question. Go to a salad bar and look at all the stuff they have there. That's probably the most popular stuff. And then you can start adding that to your diets. And it's really kind of cool. You can also get frozen vegetables because frozen organic vegetables are usually cheaper than the fresh ones because when you pick the vegetables, if you freeze them right away, there's less waste. When you have to ship them, there's a lot more waste. So the frozen ones are usually a pretty good idea. And you could even put fruit in your salad. Julia just wrote on a board for me, just put some fruit in the salad. So you can put strawberries or blueberries in there if you like to, or apple slices or orange slices, watermelon. You can really shake it up. As long as you're getting the fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds into your body. You know, it's a song by Oleta Adams many years ago. And the line in the song was, I don't care how you get here, just get here. And that's how I feel about health. If you get, how do I become a plant-based diet, Dr. Joe? How can I eat more plant-based diet? Whatever makes you happy. You can watch videos on YouTube. You can read my books, Eating Right for the Health of It. My other book is a Prescription for Extreme Health. That's a whole guideline on everything. Prescription for Extreme Health. We talk about the nervous system, the digestive system, psychology, emotional healing. We have a whole chapter in there just for athletes. So if you really like reading, we've got 2 great books there for you on the website, drjoe.com. All right, let's start taking some more callers here. Lynn, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe, I finally remembered it was called Accutane therapy.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm 63 now, but it was in my 30s. I was like 35, and my dermatologist, decided I had adult onset acne and gave that to me and had all the, blood work done to make sure I wasn't pregnant because it would cause malformities and all this other stuff. And so I was in, and I had the most gorgeous skin and still do actually, quite frankly, but my back's a wreck. And I was wondering, like about 3 years after I took the therapy, I went to Resurgence and I was having like extreme, unbelievable pain in my back where I could not operate. And they took the x-rays and said that I had it was osteoarthritis that was in my lower spine. I don't know which particular part of it was, but anyway, and now I'm starting to experience like sometimes in the mornings, not every day, but some days I have like complete numbness and it feels like there's like a sensation that goes through my spine and then all of a sudden I can't really have no feeling in my feet. So I don't know if that could be something related.
Well, here's the thing. There's 2 types of arthritis. There's rheumatoid and there's osteo. What you just described is osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is mechanical. Bones are out of alignment. They rub up against each other, whether it's your ankle, your knee, your foot, your hip, your shoulder, your spine. That's a mechanical reaction. And then what happens is if you have an injury, the body releases these specific white blood cells to attack the inflammation. Those white blood cells are not site-specific. What that means is they don't just go to one place. They attack the whole body. And they attack the weakest, most freely movable joints, and that's your fingers. So a lot of times when people have arthritis, they'll have it in their hands. The hands are not the primary site. It's usually a secondary site. So what you described to me, Lynn, is an osteoarthritis condition, and that probably wasn't caused by the medicine. Now, the rheumatoid arthritis could have affected the liver, which can affect your immune system, so the answer is yes. But what you have is a mechanical condition, and the only treatment I know of for that, and I've been studying this now for 35 years, would be chiropractic care. Putting the bones back in place, realigning the joints so they stop wearing out. Then we can also add muscle work, physical therapy if we need to, but you got to realign those joints, and that's the key. And that's the trend in healthcare now. Physical medicine is the new trend. So yeah.
Yeah, and I walk. I'm like a manic walker. I mean, I have to keep walking, and I can't sit.
Right.
I can never ever sit.
Yeah. Well,
it drives people crazy around me, but I can't.
My concern with people like you, Lynn, is that if you have bones out of place, you're building up strong muscles around crooked joints. I want you building up strong muscles around straight joints.
Okay.
So I would probably recommend chiropractic care in addition to what you're doing, and you're probably going to see some dramatic results for that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate the call. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website is drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcasts there. If you have questions, you can send them to me through the website. We have audio and video podcasts there. We have Dr. Joe's radio show, Dr. Joe's YouTube. YouTube is the video. We have a blog there. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of these shows. You get to see my pretty face then. If you want to order the supplements, Super Greens, the Essential Source, the Nitric Oxide, we're going to talk about vitamin D coming up too. Those are all on the website, drjoe.com as well. And most importantly, if you want to make an appointment to come see us, just go to my website and do it, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We work with most insurance companies. We want to get you well and keep you well. We'll be right back. Okay. Could you run in and tell the screener, make sure she reminds them no doctors' names, no hospitals, no brand names? Because she mentioned an orthopedic clinic there. So, okay. Yes. Yes.
What?
Don't
make fun of me.
I'll make fun of you if I want to. No. And what's LPAP? I don't know what that is either. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We need to now do a horizontal plug into this second hour.
Okay.
Maybe tease them in this next segment on your way out, because the next segment should be rolling into your 820.
Right.
Your 820 is your next promo. So instead of a promo, tease into the final hour, and then we can go ahead and drop in the last couple segments a tease for next week.
Got it. Okay. Understood.
Good.
I understood, I think. Questions?
So how do you know if you need adrenal support? What kind do you suggest?
Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support. It's on a website, drjoe.com. I take it every single day. The adrenal glands produce energy. They produce adrenaline. They produce prostaglandins, which control inflammation, and they produce DHEA. Yes.
She said it has to do with the thickness of your blood and lipoprotein products. I'll put it in the notation.
Okay, good. Okay, so energy, inflammation, and it also produces DHEA, which becomes your hormones. So it's really important that you get that managed. Now, how do you know you need it? If you're on any type of stimulant, coffee, tea, chocolates, if you smoke, if you're under stress, if you're over 30, if you have bags under your eyes, that's when I recommend adrenal support. I take it every single day. You probably should too.
I can say for myself, I didn't ever realize that I needed it until I started taking it.
Yeah, and he's in his 20s, so I mean,
Yeah.
he's like, so they don't have to be over 30, but once you take it, you see it, right? Yeah, it's a real
The
big
big difference for me is when I get a really heavy workload, which is about all the time, and then I get stressed out about that, and then I start to feel run down, then I get sick.
Yeah.
And the adrenal support has curbed a lot of that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. So I recommend it. It's on the website, drjoe.com. So yes.
When I go to a chiropractor, why do I have to keep going back?
Because the joints are held together with ligaments. Okay, tendons attach muscles to bones, and ligaments attach bones to bones. Now, tendons and ligaments are like rubber bands, and a brand new rubber band is really tight and holds everything together. But the more you stretch it out, the more it loses its elasticity. So ligaments are like a rubber band; they never go back to their original form when they're damaged. So with chiropractic care, we put the bones back in place. We try to get those ligaments to heal. The difference is ligaments have blood supply and rubber bands don't. So the reason is once it goes back in place, it never goes back to its original form. And then there's also something called proprioceptive fibers in the joints. Proprioceptive fibers tell you where you are in space. And so the proprioceptive fibers need to be reset. So it's not like a one and done. It's like saying if I go to the gym, I work out my bicep, well, it didn't stay there. Do I got to go back to the gym? The answer is yes. The body's dynamic and it needs to continue to get worked on. I get adjusted. I'm getting adjusted since I was 18 years old. I got to do some liners right now. So folks, you guys got to hang on for a second. This is for the shows. all around the country because we have about, 70 or 80 stations that carry the show, and I got to do commercials for them. So. Lower this here for a second. There we go. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and this week we're going to be talking about how sitting is the new smoking and the things you need to do to keep your body in motion. Hey, Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on our show, we'll be discussing how sitting is the new smoking, and we're going to give you the things that you need to do to fix this problem. Hey, we're talking about how sitting is the new smoking and what you need to do about it this week on the Dr. Joe Show.
And
First take.
I do believe Instagram is going to be cutting off here in about 5 minutes. So when it does go down, stick around, guys. We'll be right back.
Okay. Now, back to questions.
Okay. What did the Accutane have to do with arthritis? I took 2 rounds of Accutane many years ago and never had arthritis issues.
Okay, again, the medicine can affect the liver. And if the liver isn't working, that can affect the immune system and lead to an autoimmune condition. So in her case, I said the Accutane or the medicine didn't cause her arthritis because she was talking about osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is mechanical, the bones rubbing up against each other. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease. And so that's where that came from.
Now, what are some things a person who has a very physical job can do to reduce pain or joint damage?
Chiropractic care, I mean, it really is the end-all be-all when it comes to physical issues. There's nothing out there that works as good as chiropractic care in most cases. Sometimes you need surgery. Sometimes we work with physical therapists. Sometimes you need drugs. But if you have a physical job, making sure everything's lined up so you don't cause damage when you're moving. It's like if you drive your car, if the tires are out of alignment, the more you drive it, the more damage there is. So aligning the body is very, very important for that. Drinking a lot of water, taking super greens and essential source minimum, probably adrenal support as well if you're stressed out a lot, B-complex, which most of us are deficient in. All of those are on the website, drjoe.com.
I like the analogy of the car's alignment.
That's very simple. That makes perfect sense to me.
How do you know if you are low in biotin?
You can do blood work for that, but chances are if you're not eating a really good diet, like I take B-complex every day. Because the nice thing with B-complex is you're not going to overdose. You just pee it out if you have too much of it. So yeah, you can take a B-complex along with that super greens essential source. You'll get enough, and anything extra is not going to be toxic.
Is there a special kind of chiropractic care to help with trigeminal neuralgia?
I'll give you the bell for neuralgia. It's trigeminal is the other word. I'll give you half a bell for that. There you go. Trigeminal neuralgia. Answer is absolutely positively yes. We get this question about 2 or 3 times a week. Trigeminal nerve comes out of your skull. It goes into the face. Trigeminal, 3 branches. And many times the skull is shifted, putting that little hole where the trigeminal nerve comes out, pressure on that nerve at the foramen, and that can be causing it. So the answer is yes. We see a lot of trigeminal neuralgia patients.
What do you recommend for rheumatoid arthritis?
Rheumatoid arthritis, we'd have to look at the immune system. I think we've done shows on that. If you go to the website, drjoe.com, you got to get the immune system stabilized because it's an autoimmune disease. The body is attacking itself. So what do I recommend? Absolutely no sugar. Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. I'd also recommend cutting out the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. A salad at least 1 meal a day. And like I said, we throw whatever you want in a salad if you want. Throw some arugula in it, get some nitric oxide built up. Dr. Joe's nitric oxide is very good for this. The super greens, the essential source. Vitamin D, you got to get your vitamin D levels checked. If you're low in vitamin D, start taking vitamin D. That helps the immune system stabilize. We also have something called Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster. And the Wellness Booster has herbs in it to help normalize the immune system as well. But the key with autoimmune disease many times is not so much proactive as doing nothing, cutting out the bad foods, getting chiropractic care, making sure the digestive system is working. Digestive enzymes work great for people like you. So those are some things I'd recommend for an autoimmune disease like rheumatoid arthritis.
So this person has done a little bit of research into applied kinesiology.
Yes.
And has read that the adrenals can be turned back on and that acid reflux can even be fixed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I studied with Dr. Bertrand Desjardins, the founder, essentially, of applied kinesiology. He's the one who taught the guys who still do it today. So I got to study with him. Dr. Goodhart studied with Desjardins, and now Goodhart really developed applied kinesiology to what it is today. So I've been doing applied kinesiology for 35 years. I've been teaching it. So the answer is yes, you can turn on adrenals, and yes, if we pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, we do that in about 80% of our patients and get amazing results in most cases. So the answer is a resounding yes. And we're good at it because I study with the master. Coming up soon, so probably not time for another question.
50% chance for shower, thunder shower, high 76. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 80, low 56.
75 degrees on Peachtree Street at News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. Depend on it.
Dr. Joe Esposito.
Brought to you on WSB by Virtual Imaging. The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. And if you're just joining us, welcome. If you stayed with us, thanks for staying with us. I do appreciate that. Everybody's got a busy schedule. I know how busy everybody is. But we try to give you information in this show that you can naturally get well and stay well. That's our goal. Our goal is to naturally get you well and keep you well. And we try to teach you about health care that really works. And I'm not against drugs. I'm not against surgery. I socialize and send patients back and forth pretty much on a daily basis to orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons. They send patients to us almost on a daily basis. And so it's kind of nice that today's world is all the doctors are now working together, doctors I work with anyway, to get you better. That's our goal, is to get you better and your friends and your family. So I do appreciate all of you that came in as patients. Those of you who haven't come in as patients yet, do it. Stop wasting time, because the biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so long? So if you want to make an appointment, go to our website, drjoe.com. You can do it right online. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. So stop suffering. Get well. It's going to be one of those decisions I hope you're very, very happy with. So we're talking today about how sitting is the new smoking. And high-intensity exercise is really important in lifestyle. We talked about that earlier. But considering the fact that more than half of American men and 60% of American women never engage in any vigorous physical activity lasting for more than 10 minutes a week, most people are couch potatoes. So it's clear most people need to begin simply by getting up and moving. That's going to be the big step. And once you do it, like I said, 10 minutes an hour would be great. And if you can do 10 minutes an hour, then you can do 11 minutes an hour, then 12 minutes an hour, and you can start building it up. And you're going to find ways to stay in motion. You're going to be amazed what happens. Gosh, I can do this today. And instead of just sitting around and watching TV on a Saturday, maybe I should clean that garage. Maybe I could go out there and pull those weeds instead of using a toxic weed killer. Maybe I could start a garden. Maybe I can go for a walk. Maybe I can get a friend and go for a walk with them. Get a dog. Got to walk a dog twice a day. And so these are little things that's going to happen. Once you get moving, it's going to start a cascading effect. It's going to snowball. You want to keep doing it over and over again. Now, if you're elderly, you're struggling with chronic diseases, and it prevents you from engaging in strenuous exercises, just consider moving around. Walking is so underestimated. In fact, walking is my favorite exercise. And you call it hiking if you want, depending where. I guess if you're walking on pavement, it's walking. If you're on a mountain, it's hiking. But just stay in motion. It's so important. I know right behind one of my offices in Marietta, there's this beautiful trail right behind my office, right near Life University. And a couple of times a week, I'll just throw on a pair of shorts from the office, walk around, go for an hour walk, come back, feel great. And little things like that are going to make all the difference in the world. And maybe you like waterfalls. Maybe go, look for waterfalls in your area and hike them. But just get out and move is going to be so important. And also, there's a psychological benefit. Because when you're out around water, when you're out in nature, you're surrounded by something called negative ions. Now, that sounds like a bad thing, negative, but negative ions get into the body and can neutralize a lot of toxins that are positively charged. So just by getting out and around in nature is really good for you physiologically, physically, and psychologically. And this is why so many people feel good when they're near the ocean, when they're near a waterfall. Because when water is moving, it creates negative ions, which can actually make you feel good, and not just psychologically, but actually physically. All right, a lot more to cover. I'm going to take some questions. If you have a question, give us a call at 844-44-Dr.Joe. Carla, how can we make your day better?
Yes, hi. My LPAP number is high, and it should be below 75.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with sluggish or slow blood or thick blood.
Sure.
I want to know what I could do to get that number to go down.
Absolutely. Well, that's usually a liver issue. Whenever we start seeing about cholesterol or fat building up in the body, it's usually a liver issue. So with you, the nice part about the liver is it's the fastest healing organ in the body. So if there's a liver issue and you start taking care of the liver, it heals pretty quickly. So these are some things you're going to need to do. A, absolutely no alcohol. Hopefully we do that. You want to cut out what I call the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. You want to have something raw at every meal: broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados. I want you to have one meal a day that's a salad. And you can throw whatever you want in that salad as long as it's vegetables. And what that's going to do is it's going to help the liver start to detoxify itself. There's a supplement you might want to consider. We have a really good brand at our office. It's called milk thistle. And milk thistle can help break down the buildup in the liver. And it works really well. You got to be careful with milk thistle, because if I take milk thistle, even the recommended dosage, I get a blazing headache, because my liver starts dumping waste products faster than my body can handle it, and I usually get a headache. So milk thistle would be something that's incredible for you. Are you on statin drugs at all?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. So milk thistle, chiropractic care, of course, to get the nerve supply to the liver working. But if you change your diet, if you go to my website, drjoe.com, go under media, there's a little tab, and go to Dr. Joe's YouTube shows and watch the lecture that I did called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition. Everybody should be doing this. This is your homework for everyone. And that talks about what you shouldn't be eating. Then in the search bar, just click that little search bar and type in, "So what can I eat?" And there, we're going to talk about what you can eat. If you just listen to those 2 one-hour shows and start following that advice, and then I want you to take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source as well, you'll be amazed what happens. It happens pretty quickly, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. Boy, a lot of callers here. If you have a question, folks, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We're talking today about how exercise is so important, because sitting is the new smoking. So you got to get up and move throughout your day. Now, I recommend getting something called a pedometer. Okay, and Carl, keep listening. I want to get your question on there, Carl. I like what you're saying there. I want you to get a pedometer, and the reason is next week we're going to be doing a show on electromagnetic frequencies, and we're right now everybody's on 4G. We're going to be going to 5G, and I want to let you know what that means, and you really need to pay attention to that. It's really, really important, because it's going to have a major impact on your health, and a lot of countries in Europe now are banning 5G. And you're going to need to know about this. It's really, really important you get that. So that's going to be next week. So you want to tune in for that. But when I say a pedometer, I don't want you using your cell phone, because your cell phone is going to give off electromagnetic frequencies. And if you put it near your body, the furthest away from your heart I want it to be. So if you want to use your cell phone, I want you to put it on your right arm. Get one of those bands, like an exercise band, and put it on your right arm. But a pedometer is going to be great. And your goal is going to be this. Your goal is going to be 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. You got to get moving. That's about 5 miles. Now, you'll be amazed how you can start moving. And now when you start monitoring yourself, different things you can do to get to that level. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. My website, over 1,000 hours of podcast there. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, if you have questions, drjoe.com. Also, the supplements we talk about are also on the website, too, drjoe.com. Hey, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Do me a favor. Tell your friends about the show. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of our shows. We want to get you well and keep you well. We'll be right back. Shoulder pain, headaches, chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. Okay. You have questions for me?
I don't know.
Come say hi. This is Julia.
Hi.
And this is Garrett down there. So this is Julia. She's helping us out today. Hopefully she helps out a lot. Garrett's down there. She's changing batteries on our lights and everything like that. But you never get to see everybody else. We got Ahmad over there. You don't get to see Ahmad and all the other good-looking folks we have here. So this is us. This is what we look like. And you only get to see this side. You can see that side over there where all the work happens there. So, any questions? Julie's a little drunk now too. Yeah.
How do we know if our vitamin B12 levels are low, and how should someone on a vegan diet get B12?
Okay, if you're on a vegan diet, you need to supplement with B12, my opinion. Essential Source has B12 in it. Dr. Joe's B Complex, which I take every day, has B12 in it. Nutritional yeast is another thing that's, as long as it's a supplement, it's fortified with B12. That's another way to get it. Your body only uses a thimbleful of vitamin B12 in a lifetime. So you don't use a whole lot. How do you know you need it? Well, if you're vegan, like I said, I have to take it. If you're not going to hurt to take it, because all it's going to do is flush out if you take it. And that's the nice part. But if you have digestive issues, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, you're taking antacids. These things can prevent you from absorbing B12 because you need something called intrinsic factor, which is made in your stomach to help you absorb the B12. So it's fine to take it. And take it if you start feeling good, you're probably deficient in it. Or you can get a blood work done and find out too. That's the objective way to do it. So.
Is a wireless pedometer safe to use?
No, just a mechanical one. You don't want to have anything that's Wi-Fi'd or anything like that, or
but like
Bluetoothed.
Like a Fitbit.
No, I don't like those. And we've had patients already. Now, some people are okay with them, but we've had patients already. We take off their band, and they start to heal. We put the band back on, they start having problems again because it's electromagnetic frequency around the body. So if you come into our office, we can actually test you for it. It takes about 2 seconds to test for it to see if it's good or not for you.
Instagram may have extended their live streaming period.
Oh yeah, we're still streaming, right? We didn't shut it off.
No.
Oh, I mean, I put it back up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. Julie did a good job. She gets
I
bells.
was all excited over here.
I know.
No, I just put it back up.
Julie's just being efficient there, so yay. More questions? Julia, Garrett.
I have a statement.
Statements are good. I'll take those. Those are good.
Love you big time. You changed my health.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And tell your friends.
Thank you, Susan.
We love that. Yay.
And I guess while we're on it, I've got a great review and an awesome success story from Brian.
Okay, go ahead.
Brian wrote into our Facebook. He started out at about 260 pounds last May. Started out with Essential Source Super Green smoothies twice a day.
Wow.
For the first few months. Then started cutting back on sugar in June. Then taking nitric oxide and adrenal support in July. D3 and K2 in October. And by late July, cut out all sugar, wheat, bread, and dairy. Complete. I mean, literally did everything you said. Dropped down to 210 pounds.
Wow.
Feels great. Looks great. He's got some before and after pictures in here.
That's so great, man. That's awesome. Good job. And stuff really works. That's good. I'm not asking you to do anything weird. I'm just asking you to do what your body needs. What your body is biologically designed to do.
And
yes.
Tying in with the theme today.
Yes.
Working out, being healthy. I have joint issues, so for people with joint issues, I do horseback riding, and it's great exercise, easy on the joints, and I know a lot of people are like, well, the horse does all the work, but really when you're up there, you're working your core, you're working your legs. I've built so much more muscle, a lot stronger, feel better, and even just bike riding is really easy on my joints.
Yeah. And the nice part about horseback riding is as you're rocking back and forth, it's pumping your sacrum, and it's pumping cerebrospinal fluid up into your brain. I think we talk about that in Prescription for Extreme Health, about it pumps cerebrospinal fluid up to the brain. So it's really good for your brain as well. And with horseback riding, you're holding on, you are building up good muscles, and Julia really is getting really solid, which is great. So it really does work.
Another good one for that would be climbing.
Sure.
Oh,
You don't even have to be afraid of heights like I am. I don't go for the 20, 30, 40-foot walls. I just go bouldering. No rope, just my hands and my feet, and it's about 10 feet off the ground at most.
All right.
We should be coming back soon. So, quick question.
Can fungus cause high blood pressure?
Probably yes. Nope.
Go away.
Next break.
Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, welcome. Love having you on board. We're giving you information on how to get well and stay well. That's our job, naturally get well and stay well. We're talking today about how sitting is the new smoking, and you really got to get moving. We talked about a pedometer, getting a pedometer, get a mechanical one, put it on your belt. You want to do about 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And you're going to be amazed. When you start tracking your steps, you're going to see how simple little tiny changes are to get you moving around more. So a couple of things you can do, and I'll go back to the callers. We've got a lot of callers today. Walk across the hall to talk to your coworkers instead of sending an email. Or instead of, intercomming them. We do that a lot in our office sometimes, and I keep thinking, get up and move, man. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park your car far away and walk. Take a longer roundabout way to your desk. If you drink a lot of water, you have to get up and pee. And one of the things that people do, I know a friend of mine who works in a corporate office, she doesn't like the bathrooms on her floor, so she goes downstairs and uses that bathroom. Well, yes, I know people are particular about their bathrooms, but it's also a great way to get up and move. So it's so important to get that body in motion and think of ways. How can I move? Can I park at the mall and walk far away? When I go to the grocery store, I park far away and I walk there too. So think of reasons. I know a friend of mine, Tom, back in high school, he would drive around a parking lot at a gym looking for a parking space. And I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. You're going to the gym, you're driving around looking for a spot. You can save some gym time if you just get up and walk. All right, let's take some callers. Carl, what do you have to say today?
Hey, Dr. Joe. I just want to thank you again. I do coconut oil every day.
Excellent.
You know, you recommended this years ago. I go to my dentist once a year. He says I have the healthiest gums, teeth, everything.
Excellent.
And I just can't believe it. But I have my second guide dog. My first guide dog, when I was younger, we walked 60 to 70 miles a week. This dog, he and I walk 30 to 40 miles a week.
That's great.
And you're so right. It makes my life so much better. And I appreciate your show and what you're telling people, because walking it's so little to do, but it makes so much a difference in the life.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Be well. Bye-bye.
Oh, thanks, Carl. Yeah, call Pete Spriggs at WSB Radio. Tell him how much you like our show. Pete's our boss here, so we always pick on Pete. He's a great, unbelievable. What an amazing man Pete is. But you can always call Pete and tell him, or send him an email. Let's take some more callers here. Ted, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe, I need you to settle a family dispute.
I'm ready, man.
If I drink a 12-ounce glass of tea, is that the same as 12 ounces of water?
Well, unfortunately, no, because tea has caffeine in it, and caffeine is a diuretic, so you're actually losing water by drinking things like tea and coffee. So, unfortunately, okay. I don't know what side of who I'm winning the argument for, but no, and just like alcohol is a diuretic. I always say if you drink one beer, you pee out 3. You know, where those other 2 beers come from? Well, coffee and tea do the same thing, so you got to really make it. And if you're going to drink coffee or tea, try to do it decaffeinated because the caffeine, that may help too, because the caffeine is the thing that's a diuretic. So I'll negotiate with you on that. How about that?
Okay, so if we want water, we got to have straight water with no flavoring.
Yeah, well, you could add a little stevia to it. You could add lemon juice to it, orange juice to it, a little twist or something like that. Sure, you don't have to be bored. You can shake it up a little bit.
Thank you, doctor.
My pleasure, Ted. And by the way, folks, you can always do caffeine-free teas. That's what Julia just reminded me. And you can do herbal teas. That's what I do. I do a tea, which is a slippery elm, because I talk a lot. And slippery elm really helps coat the mucous membrane. So the throat, the colon, the stomach, slippery elm is a great tea you can do. And you can do it hot or cold. In fact, just today, I was at the grocery store, and I said, time to start picking out iced teas, teas that make good iced tea. So if you like your teas, that's okay. You just got to do some herbal ones. And you want to use stevia or xylitol for a sweetener. You really want to stay away from the sugar because that's really bad stuff there. Let's start taking some more calls. 844-44-Dr. Joe. Joy, how can we make your day better?
Hi, Dr. Joe. Thank you so much for your show. It's really great.
You're welcome.
I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for plantar fasciitis.
I sure do. Joy, I got an opinion on everything, don't I?
Yes, you do, and they're always good ones.
Well, good. You're a smart woman, Joy. There's 206 bones in the body. Any one of them can come out of place. 1/4 of all the bones in your body of the 206 are in your feet. There's a lot of little bones down there, and that gives us mobility and movement. But if any one of those bones comes out of place, that puts stress on the fascia, the plantar fascia. And when it becomes inflamed, it's an itis, plantar fasciitis. So in every case I've ever seen in my many years of patients is we adjust the feet. We put the bones back in place. Then we check the nerves from the low back. Those control the feet. And almost every case gets amazing results. And we have podiatrists send us patients, and we have people that have been to the podiatrist. It's not working. They come see us because plantar fasciitis is usually a physical problem. It's a bone out of place or bones out of place. So by realigning the...
You could adjust the bone in the foot. I didn't realize that.
We can adjust any one of the 206 bones, including the skull. I have an old skull injury. I got hit by a car when I was 10 years old, landed on my head. And I have to have my doctors adjust my skull on a regular basis because it's been damaged. So any one of the bones in the body can come out of place. And your feet's one of them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to have to make an appointment to come see you and have that done.
And then when you get better, you got to call in the show and tell everybody how well you did. How about that?
I will be a walking testimonial.
Love that, Joy. All right, we look forward to getting you well. Thanks. And folks, if you want to make an appointment to come see us, the phone number, 844-44-Dr. Joe, that number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. So you can call that number or just go to the website, drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We work with most insurance companies. We try to match your benefits the best we can. My team of insurance experts are there to get you the best benefits we can. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged, you need to come see us right away. You don't want to wait, because the longer you wait, the more damage can occur. So if the car was damaged, if you're hurt at work, if there's an injury, the faster you get to it, the better results you're going to get in almost every case. And a number, again, to make an appointment, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We're not on the air, but we are on the air. So if you have any questions, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Taylor, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. My name is Taylor. I'm 28 years old, and when I was 24, they found a 4-inch ependymoma, spinal ependymoma in my spine.
Sure.
I had surgery in remission. It's really, really slow growing.
Sure.
And now, obviously, I have nerve damage, and so I was wondering what you would suggest for nerve damage repair, pain.
Absolutely. Well, you always want to get chiropractic evaluation, because if the bones are out of place pinching the nerves and you have nerve damage, you got a double whammy. So the one that's easiest to fix is put the bones back in place. Then we want to get you on an alkaline diet, because acid foods, the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, that can irritate the nerve endings. Nitric oxide can increase circulation to the body, so many times that helps. And when I have patients like you, and I try to get them on a more plant-based diet, in most cases they get amazing results. So fix the physical stuff, balance out the chemistry, and in most cases you should do fine.
Sounds good. Yeah, my wife's vegetarian, so that would be an easy transition.
Well, tell her I told you to join the pack.
Yes, sir.
All right, if you want to come see us, just dial that number when we're not on the air. You can make an appointment, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor. All right, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Going to have to go to a break pretty soon. If you have a question, we have 2 more segments, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Get your questions in now. If we don't get you on, if some people are a little shy to call in, you can always send us your question through the website, drjoe.com. We're more than happy to help you there. So we're talking today about how sitting is the new smoking. And you want to get up and move around. We talked about that a lot. Oh, got to go to a break again? Ahmad, I have too much to cover. What are you doing here to me? Why do you do this to me?
Yeah, we have things called bills.
Oh, man, these people are, all these advertisers. Somebody said the other day, they said, who picks something about my advertisers? I said, I don't own the station. I don't pick the advertisers. I only give them the content for them to advertise on. So, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, the website, drjoe.com, over 1,000 hours of podcast there. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website. But we have 2 more segments. You can call in at 844-44-Dr. Joe. We'll be right back.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or fatigue?
Yes. Julia's not. She's out there dancing all day. See, Garrett's sitting down. The young kid, she's up dancing, baby. So she's got it moving. Yeah. So what else you got going?
Is fish considered meat?
Yes. I've never saw a fish tree. But I have seen an eggplant. Ah! No. Come on, that was funny.
That's a dad joke.
Yes, I don't eat fish. If you're going to eat fish, it's got to be wild caught. And if you go to the website, drjoe.com, and listen to the 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, we have a whole segment on fish.
What is the best breakfast you can recommend for an athlete?
Super Green's an essential source. Start out, then some fruit. I would take nitric oxide if you're an athlete, and then you can have something more substantial. You can do nuts and seeds, nut butters, not peanut butter. That's not a nut, it's a legume. Oatmeal is great because it has fiber. It's going to give you a slow release of energy. And in my book, A Prescription for Extreme Health, we have a whole chapter on athletes. But you don't have to eat a lot. That's the whole thing, is if you're eating quality food, you don't need a lot of it. If you need a lot of it, it's not quality. You're trying to suck out a few nutrients out of it. When you get quality food, now you can eat a lot less.
Oh, and playing off that nut butter thing, depending on what store you go to, you can fresh grind the nut butter so it doesn't have any of the preservatives, any of that. It's just
and nuts. It doesn't oxidize because the oil's oxidized. So Julia is absolutely positive. I'll give her 3 bells for that one because she's absolutely right on that. Yes.
And some of the best nut butter I've ever had was fresh ground right in front of me.
Oh, yeah. And you can make your own. If you have something good like a Vitamix or something like that, you can make your own nut butters too. If you want to get really crazy. So.
All right.
But no peanut butter, remember.
Are acupuncture sessions helpful for damaged nerves?
Yes, I've had acupuncture sessions. In fact, we talked about my old head injury. Sometimes I have to get acupuncture in my skull to deal with that. So the answer is yes, it can help.
Thanks, Dr. Joe.
Okay.
You're welcome. Love you, are. Thank you.
Do you have any suggestions for a high heart rate?
Yes.
At a resting heart rate, it can be 120 at certain times of the day.
First thing I want to look at in someone like you is the stomach up against the diaphragm. So you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. What happens is the same nerve that controls your stomach controls your heart. It's called the vagus nerve. And when the vagus nerve is irritated, that can increase heart rate. And the reason I know about that is I have that condition. And when my stomach is up against my diaphragm, my heart just goes crazy. And I grab one of my doctors, and the thing is that, Julia, Garrett, myself, we take this for granted. Just adjust me. Boop, boop, we get adjusted and we're fine. But if my stomach is up against my diaphragm, I need to pull it away from my diaphragm. You can't do it yourself, unfortunately. And my heart rate drops immediately. So if that's the case, then, if that's not it, then I would check the nerve supply in the lower neck. That's the nerve supply to the heart. If that's still not it, then I do a thyroid test on you to see if there's a thyroid issue, if you have hyperthyroidism. So I would usually fixing the stomach and the nerve supply to the heart fixes it unless it is hyperthyroidism.
Is Manuka honey a great replacement for antibiotics?
I'm going to give her a good one on that. She got Manuka honey right. Is it a good replacement? We did a show on this, didn't we? Last week? Last week we did one. So go to website, drjoe.com, listen to last week's show. The answer is it is antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal, but it's not medicinal level. So if you take it for prophylactic, that's great. But if you have an infection, you might want to listen to last week's show. Yeah.
I don't have a gallbladder. Is that bad?
Yes, absolutely, positively. Because there's proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and they get broken down. Each one has two places to get broken down. For example, carbohydrates. Your mouth has salivary amylase, which starts breaking down carbohydrates, and then your pancreas releases more amylase to break down the carbohydrates. Proteins are broken down in your stomach, and then your pancreas releases digestive enzymes. Fats are broken down with your pancreas and your gallbladder. So you've taken away 50%, metaphorically speaking here, I guess. I don't know if it's exactly 50%. Taking away 50% of your ability to break down fat. So the answer is a resounding yes. So I would strongly advise staying away from all animal fats because they're really hard to break down. Also, I'd recommend Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes because digestive enzymes are going to help facilitate the digestion of all your food.
Is there anything recommended for stopping gastritis?
Yes, absolutely. Nerve supply in the low back, that's the nerves to the colon. So you got to get that fixed. Almost every case, if not every case I've ever seen, the stomach is up against the diaphragm. We need to adjust the stomach away from the diaphragm. We get you on a very easy to digest diet, which is usually fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. We take away the irritating factors like wheats, dairy products, and sugars. And then we get you on digestive enzymes, and in most cases, and super greens, an essential source. And in most cases, the gastritis calms down dramatically. We see cases like yours all day, every day. I can't remember a day that went by we didn't see at least one of your cases. So that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, anything over here, Garrett?
No.
Really? Ran out of questions? We never run out of questions. That's incredible.
This is a hard one to argue.
What?
The show topic.
Oh, the show topic. Yeah, nobody usually argues with us anyway, so we're in good shape there. We covered that. What are we going to cover next? Okay, we talked about that.
Let's get one more tease into next week's show.
Okay. We can do that for you. Okay.
Talk about students.
You forgot to talk about the scooters.
Got the scooters up next, right here.
Okay.
I'm going to report next, don't worry. Millennials all excited about their scooters. Yeah, we'll talk about that too, sitting in school and stuff like that. Let's talk about that when we come back. Okay? That's a good point. We'll cover that because...
Kids these days are lucky. You got 45-minute classes, and then you've got 5 minutes of walking in between.
No, we don't.
Fight.
Our class is 55 minutes, and we have 4 minutes between classes. Still.
When I was your age, it snowed in school, and we had to walk uphill to every class. The bell rang, and you had 10 seconds to go 2 miles in the rain.
I'm sorry you grew up in actual Antarctica.
Because he's so much older than you.
Yeah, I know. Basically, Grandpa.
I think the socks I have on are actually older than both of you. So.
Together.
Yes. Actually, these socks I got when you were a baby. So. Yeah. So. That's right. Yes. And both of them walking around with no shoes on here. I don't know what this is. These kids these days.
Shoes are bad for feet.
They are actually walking.
So I'm going.
Walk out when walking on the beach. That's when you get those negative ions. It's called grounding. Very effective.
I was going to ask, what is that called when you walk?
Barefoot. Grounding. Yes. Walking across lawns are good too, unless there's chemicals in it, of course. But yeah, I try to go out and ground myself on my lawn every chance I can.
High 77.
All right.
60.
Here we go.
Mostly cloudy. A 50% chance for shower or thunder shower.
More Zevia for you.
54. Wednesday, mostly sunny. High 80. Low 56.
74 degrees on Peachtree Street at News 95.5 and AM 750.
Here we go.
USB.
Listen to Dr. Joe. The 5 most dangerous words in the English language are, maybe it will go away, stop suffering, and start getting well. Dr. Joe Esposito is on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking today about how sitting is the new smoking. And you got to get up, folks. You got to move. And you don't have to go to the gym, and you don't have to, pump weights, and you don't have to run marathons. You just have to get up and move. And just 5 or 10 minutes an hour is going to make a dramatic difference. And if you like walking, which is one of my favorite exercises, just get out for a walk. And somebody called up earlier, has a dog, and he says, Dr. Joe, you changed my life. It really works. So get a dog if you want to. Take your dog for a walk. Make them happy, make you happy. You're going to add quality years to your life, and not just years, quality years. Because one of the arguments I'm a guest on a fellow named Eric von Hessler, who's an amazing guy. He's so brilliant. I hope he's not listening because I don't want to get him a fat head, but he's amazingly brilliant. And it's so much fun being on the show with him. And his thing is, I don't care. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. I don't care. And we joke about that a lot. But I want to add quality and quantity to your life. That's my goal. We have about 26,960 days in the average life expectancy. So why not live everyone to its fullest? And you can do that by simply changing your diet, staying away from the bad foods, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Eating more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, which, by the way, is a heck of a lot cheaper than anything you're doing right now. Supplements, at least Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. That's the minimum. And I say that because a lot of people who are couch potatoes, like some of you listening, and you'll say, I'm going to, Dr. Joe, if that's my first step, I'll do that. And they take Super Greens and Essential Source, and then they start getting more energy, and they start feeling better. And then they start doing more, and then they start following more advice. And it's baby steps. You don't have to do everything I say. Just start doing something. And Super Greens and Essential Source are a real easy, inexpensive, tasty way to start out your days. And I can't imagine a day without it. Now, we're talking about activity and how the Generation Xers and the Generation Zers and the Millennials, they're sitting around a lot more than we did. And now, when I went to school, we had gym class every single day. Is that what's happening now? Do we still have gym class in school, Julia?
Yeah, there is still gym class, but the way, I don't know how all schools are run, but the way mine is that you get it 1 quarter out of the year, maybe 2 if you're lucky, and then you have it every day in that quarter or 2 quarters instead of every single day.
So you really don't get activity anymore?
No, as far as activity goes, it's just moving from class to class.
4 minutes between classes, yeah. So that concerns me. And then the other thing that concerns me is Garrett's generation. You guys have these things called scooters now everywhere.
Ride them all over the place. Actually, we were just in L.A., and Sierra fell pretty hard.
Which is my point then, okay. So we walked everywhere. I took the bus to school once because it was actually the opposite direction of my house. The school was one direction, the bus pickup was another one. And I rode it once, and I thought, why am I doing this? I can just walk. So I'd walk, and I'd pick up Jim Zwicky, and then Bill Kohler would join us, and then we'd walk on down, and Vern Pittman would join us, and we'd all walk to school. And we had this to the minute. We had a plan. Then if Vern wasn't there or Jim wasn't there, well, they weren't going to join us on the walk then. And then we walked from school to the football field, which was quite a bit of ways too. And we walked everywhere. And now it's really concerning me because we had gym every day, and the younger generation is not having gym classes, and the scooters are everywhere. And it's interesting because my friends that work in the emergency rooms are telling me they're seeing such an increase, well, they say 161% increase in the number of visits involving scooters. Because you're driving a scooter, A, you don't know how. You probably never took a class. B, you don't have any helmets on, which I think is kind of important.
And what really scares me is that now, especially here in Atlanta, they don't want you on the sidewalks because they're hitting too many pedestrians.
Yeah, so the pedestrians...
So now they want you in the middle of the road.
Without a helmet on something you don't know how to drive.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of folks do this too. They don't feel like walking home. They don't want to pick up a ride share. So they get a scooter and they're drunk. So they're driving these things drunk. Have you ever been on a scooter, Julia?
I have not personally been on a scooter or anything like that, but I could imagine especially kids taking it too far, trying to do tricks, trying to do things that are endangering themselves and others.
Yeah, and that's what's happening with the scooters, is that they're seeing such an increase. Fractures, dislocations of the wrist, the ankles, the elbows, the shoulders. A lot of strains and sprains are coming out of these things, and a lot of people, as the doctors tell me, were intoxicated and not wearing a helmet. Now, it drives me insane that you have to wear a helmet to ride a bike, which I think is a great idea because we didn't have that, and I wish we did when I was young. But now you're driving something that you don't know how to manage, and you're not wearing a helmet, and you're running over other people as well. So that does concern me. So that's another thing, folks. It's a lot easier and a lot cheaper and a lot safer to just walk. I know it's a new concept to you, but once you get moving, I promise you, once you get the body in motion, you're going to be amazed on how much better you feel. So it's not hard, it's easy. And as a chiropractor, I'm seeing issues as well, because the less we move, the more problems we have with our musculoskeletal system and things like osteoporosis. I never saw osteoporosis in men, and I'm starting to see it a lot lately. And whenever it is, it's never somebody who's an athlete. It's always somebody who's been sitting around most of their lives or sitting around in their jobs. And the bones need stress. There's something called Wolff's Law. I don't know who Dr. Wolff was, but Dr. Wolff came up with something called Wolff's Law. And Wolff's Law states that when you put stress on a bone, the bone increases its mass and its density. So the way you build up strong bones is to put stress on them. So you can do weight-bearing exercises, you can work out, you can jog, things like that will be good. However, just standing is going to put stress on the bones, and it's going to prevent things like osteoporosis. And it really is a big, serious issue. So we talked about getting up and moving 10 minutes an hour. One study that just came out, the average American spends 9 to 10 hours a day sitting. We talked about that earlier. And 12 to 15 hours can be one of the problems. And this new study says if you walk for 2 minutes an hour, that can even improve your health. So just getting up and moving is going to make such an improvement in your life. So you got to get your fanny up and move. Now, I like the 10-minute an hour one. I think this study is being a little too liberal, saying you just need 2 minutes an hour. But 90 seconds of standing, if you just stand for 90 seconds, the muscles and the cellular systems that process blood sugar, triglycerides, and cholesterol, and all these things are mediated by insulin, a lot of them, they activate. And when they start to activate, your body uses fats and carbohydrates more efficiently. And they don't just lay there. So you want to sit for less than 3 hours a day, and that's really important. So now I'm a chiropractor, and I do radio. Now, me and I think Clark Howard, another one of my hosts, we stand up. Everybody else, as far as I know, sits. And my friend Eric von Hessler, of course, we pick on each other all the time. But when you stand, I believe you do a better job because you're able to breathe better, too, because it opens up your diaphragm. And if you sit too long, you can push your stomach up against your diaphragm, and that can cause digestive problems. So not only is it a breathing issue, but sitting too much can cause a lot of acid reflux. Now, again, I've been in practice for a long time. Years ago, I didn't see as much acid reflux as I do now. And in fact, about 80% of the patients that I ask have acid reflux of some sort. Acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. But sitting compresses your digestive system. And if the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm, you're not able to digest food properly. Now, your stomach's job is to take proteins and break them into amino acids. Amino acids become neurotransmitters in your brain to make your brain work. So a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety can come from the body not breaking down proteins because the stomach isn't able to break down the proteins because it's squished up against the diaphragm. So we see a lot of pain patients, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, but a good portion of our patients are digestive patients. And we can actually adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And when you do, and you fix somebody's digestive system, they want to name their kids after you. It's just amazing. And it's not just the acid reflux and the burping. You're actually able to make your brain work more efficiently. And if you're taking those medications, many times that prevents you from absorbing B12, calcium, magnesium, because they prevent your stomach from absorbing the nutrients properly. So the acid reflux medications. Folks, got to go to break. One more segment. If you have any questions, 844-44-Dr. Joe, my website, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcast there. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, you can do it at drjoe.com as well, or call the number 844-44-Dr. Joe. Hey, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Do me a favor. Don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. We're going to be right back. Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Jonathan, I like that little box in the corner of the videos.
That was loud.
Okay, I have recurring shoulder pain from years of UPS.
Oh, yes.
And acting like I'm He-Man.
We don't think we're 16, right?
Tell me, how can I ease the pain?
Usually what happens is the shoulder comes out of socket. So with shoulder pain, the most common thing is the shoulder's a ball and socket joint. Your shoulder can come out of socket from lifting too much. We adjust shoulders, one of these all-day, everyday things. So the shoulder can come out of socket. The other thing we want to look at is the nerve supply from the neck that goes to the shoulder. If you have a pinched nerve in the neck, that's the nerve supply to the shoulder, and that can cause shoulder pain as well. So is it the shoulder or is it the nerve supply to the shoulder? We got to figure that out. Those are the most common reasons. Now, you could have a torn rotator cuff. You could have a labrum tear, which is the lining of the socket in there. But more commonly, it's a misalignment. And so come see us. Let us check that out and see if that's what it is. And if we need to, if we can't fix it, we can always send you out for an MRI to see what it is. But in most cases, we get great results. So come see us.
Is there anything you recommend, as well as physical therapy, to help with a vestibular disorder?
I'll give you a bell. Vestibular.
Oh.
Yes, as a matter of fact. With a vestibular disorder, it could be the cerebellum in the brain, and many times this is what's misdiagnosed. So if the cerebellum isn't getting the proper neurological input, you can fall to the side of the weak cerebellum. So what we do is we do a Romberg test in our office. We have the patient stand up, we close their eyes, and we wrap our arms around them but don't touch them. And we see if they fall to one side. And if they start to fall to one side, we'll adjust just that side of the body. We'll have them swing their arm, stimulating the cerebellum on that side. And if that's the case, then we do the Romberg test again. They're able to stand up without falling. Then we know it's cerebellar. If that's not it, then we start looking at the vestibular apparatus, and there are certain techniques we can do. But many times, it's a pinched nerve in the neck. The atlas, the top bone, moves out of place, which can affect the vestibular apparatus. So physical therapy is great, but many times it doesn't get to the cause like chiropractic can. So we can work together with that if you'd like to come see us. Next.
Does chiropractic care help with flat inward feet?
Yes, we can adjust the feet and try to put the arch back in there again. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I've been parking far from stores and restaurants for years.
Good.
My lady and my family all think I'm crazy for that.
Well,
but it's a great way to get exercise, even in small amounts.
Absolutely. Again, it's just those small amounts. Just get something. You know, I don't care how you get here. Just get here. What else? More questions?
Who needs to rush anyways?
That's right. 26,960 days. Remember that.
How about the effect of high heels on?
Yes, high heels are amazing because this is really cool. We can test you to see how high heel you can do. And what we do is we push on your muscles and you're strong with flat feet. Then we put you in, we have a wedge. It's called the sacrooccipital. You have heels, we can test you. And we put you on, well, I can test you on them. We can test them.
I know.
Okay? Actually, you want to get tested here?
Sure.
Come here.
Come on.
Bring it along. We'll use Julie as a guinea pig here.
Hi, guys.
Okay, there we go.
These are
Okay, those are heels. Okay. Push your arms straight out.
Okay.
Push up toward the sky. Okay, now put your heels on. Now what'll happen is if the heel is okay for her, her muscles are going to stay strong. If it's too much for her, her muscles are going to go weak.
Okay.
Okay? Push up again. Okay, so she's strong. So these heels are okay for her. If we went a little higher, chances are it'd blow out. So those heels are okay for you.
Woo.
Yay.
Yay.
So that's how we do it. And with our wedges, we can actually have a woman, you know, we have them stand up higher and higher and higher to the point where we know that that's how high they can go. And then we measure it and say, that's the highest heel you can wear. So.
Okay. I'm sure it depends on person and case, but is there a recovery time or severe pain after hardcore chiropractic?
Oh, chiropractic. Yes, it's usually, yeah, sometimes you are sore after the adjustment because we're moving things around. So I tell people, if you're sore after the adjustment, don't jump ship. It's like after a hard workout. So usually about 2 or 3 days after soreness should go away. So chiropractic, I know it's a big word.
Listen, I'm tired.
Here we go.
Brake lights glowing from University Avenue exit 244 heading to I-20. Then your hassle-free north of I-20 by John Lewis Freedom Parkway. Also, just a few brake lights on the south side on I-75 in Henry County. Moderate volume now getting up toward Highway 155 exit 216 Locust Grove. Steve Winslow, WSB.
Start today with something completely in your control. Your health. Dr. Joe Esposito is on.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. If you're just joining us, welcome. I am Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about sitting the new smoking, and the answer is yes, it is, as a matter of fact. So we're trying to give you some ideas on things you can do to get moving, and one of the things you might want to do is try a standing desk. Now, when you do a standing desk, make sure you don't hunch over. Make sure you're standing up straight. Wear comfortable shoes. You can get these mats, we have them here at the studio, as a matter of fact, that are cushiony, so you might want to stand on that as well and see if that helps. But standing desks are amazing because just standing is going to make a big difference in getting the biomechanical reactions occurring at the cellular level because your muscles have to contract to hold you up. Now, there's a new study published in Preventive Medicine. It found that both sedentary time, it reduced sedentary time and mood by using a standing desk. So you have more energy, you feel better, but you got to be careful because they have these treadmill desks. And as a chiropractor, I'm not a big fan of them. There's about 24,000 people treated for treadmill-related injuries every year. And this is an interesting story. If you ever use SurveyMonkey, the CEO, David Goldberg, passed away when he had a head injury sustained from slipping on a treadmill because he was using the treadmill and he was distracted at work. So just be careful with them. If you're going to use them, that's okay, but I don't like the treadmill ones. If you're on a treadmill, I want you to focus on the treadmill. I don't want you to be thinking about work. Far better option, again, is a standing station. That can help you get to where you want to be, about 7,000 steps a day, 10,000 steps a day. Standing desk boosted heart rate by about 8 beats per minute, while treadmill desks increased it by 12 beats per minute. Again, it's not worth the risk. Standing desk can boost your good cholesterol, and using a standing desk for 3 months can actually help you lose weight. And it activates the brain. The brain needs oxygen, stimulation, and nutrition. And stimulation is something like standing, moving, walking. If you go hiking, if you walk on uneven surfaces, it sends more neurological input up into the brain and helps you get a better result from your hike, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. A lot more to talk about. Let's take some callers. 844-44-Dr. Barbara, how can we make your day better?
Well, I was just going to say I had an automobile accident in the 80s. And I walked away from where a tractor trailer hit me 5 times.
Oh, my gosh.
Throwing me around and around, on 285. I've had a lot of surgeries. I've gone to chiropractors. I've done everything that I could do. But now, I haven't been to a chiropractor in a while. But now, because of I had 2 discs removed from my neck.
Sure.
I've had a laminectomy in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 orthoscopic surgeries in my shoulder, 3 in my knee. I even had a brain surgery.
Okay.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what's really bothering me is that I had carpal tunnel surgery, and they had to do the second one. They had to repeat the second one in my right arm, and now I have this numbness that's going from my elbow down to my wrist.
Right.
And I don't know if that's coming from my neck or is it the carpal tunnel or, and I really don't ever know which doctors to go to anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know if I go to a doctor now, they would want to do surgery on me.
Well, why don't you come see us, Barbara? We can analyze it. We can see if it's coming from the neck, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. We can figure out where it's coming from. And then if it's something we think we can help, we'll tell you. If it's something we don't think we can help, we'll tell you that too.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather treat it.
I feel like
Yeah, the consultation is no charge. If you want to come see us, you can meet with us, probably meet with me. I work in a Marietta office, but you can come there. Most new patients come see me the first visit anyway. And we can do an analysis, and if it's something we can help, we'll tell you. If it can't, we tell you that too. And it's not going to cost you anything to just meet with us, and let's see what we can do.
Well, that'd be great because, I didn't get on pain medicines until, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago.
Sure.
But I got on the pain medicines, and I just have got off of them.
Right.
And I want to stay off of them. I went in Alcohol and Drug Treatment Center to get off of them.
Wow.
So I'm not on any kind of pain medications, and the pain sometimes is horrible.
Yeah. Well, I'm board certified in chiropractic. I'm also board certified in orthopedics. I'm also board certified in pain management. I think I'm the only chiropractor in the state board certified in pain management, and I'm double board certified in nutrition. So a lot of pain management clinics will actually send the patients to us and say, Joe, what can you do for this one from a natural standpoint? We can't give them any more opioids. We've done shows on that before. We can't give them any more medication. What can we do? And so we'll do an analysis with the doctors and say, okay, this is what we recommend. And in most cases, doctors say, well, do it because we can't give them any more medication. You're our last hope. So we'd love to see you then, Barb, and see what we can do for you.
Okay, thank you so
Great,
much.
Barb. If you do want to make an appointment, folks, just the number is 844-44-Dr. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air during business hours. But the website is there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right there online if you want to. We work with most insurance companies. We have a team of experts trying to get the best benefits for you. We try to match your benefits the best we possibly can. And if you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. The quicker you come to see us, the better. And that goes for you, your friends, your family. If you know somebody who's been in a car accident, get them to us, folks. Because the biggest complaint, again, is what? Why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? Within car accidents, too, it's a little tricky because the insurance companies are always looking for ways not to pay. And they'll say, oh, you waited too long. You didn't go to the doctor in time. So the quicker you get to us, the better off it's going to be. So we're talking today, and the website, by the way, drjoe.com. And all the supplements we talk about, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, which is the minimum supplements you should be taking every day, they're on the website along with everything else. So as we wrap up, a few more minutes here, a couple of things you can do to get moving, because we're talking about is sitting the new smoking, and the answer is yes. Organize your office in such a way that you have to stand up to reach for files, for the telephone, for the printer. Don't have your printer right next to you. My printer, my office is 5 doors away. I've got to walk and go to it. One of the reasons is I like to get up and walk. You can use an exercise ball for a chair. If you're sitting on a chair, you don't have the balance that an exercise ball is going to give you. Sitting on an exercise ball engages your core muscles, and it improves balance and flexibility. Now, you can have a chair with the ball as the seat, because sitting on a ball by itself might be a little too much for you, but it actually has a stand, so to speak. And those work really well. Several of my staff members have that. Occasional bouncing on your ball is going to have your body interact with gravity, and to a greater degree than just sitting, and that's going to help activate those muscles and help cause those physiological reactions that occur. So try to do that if you can. Some people will have the ball for a while and have another chair next to them, and they can switch on and off if you want to. Use an upright wooden chair with no armrest. That's going to force you to sit up straight. It's going to encourage you're shifting your body more frequently than if you have a cushy chair that you can just kind of fall back in and fall asleep. And this is a little trick that I think is great. Set a timer to remind you to stand up and move around at least 10 minutes an hour, at least 2 minutes, but 10 minutes an hour would be great, even better. So on your computer, if you're sitting down a lot, or on your phone, set it for every 50 minutes to go off, and then get up and move around, because when you start moving, that's going to help tremendously. You can either walk, you can stand, simple exercises. We talked about that. You can stand up on your toes for 10 times, get up on your heels for 10 times, do squats for 10 times. When you're brushing your teeth, you can do squats while you're brushing your teeth. You're supposed to use, I have an electric toothbrush. I hope you do too. And you do it for 2 minutes. And just that alone is going to be a great way to start out your day. Folks, got a lot more to talk about, but I'm out of time. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcast there, audio and video. You have search bars. You can search things. We have you can search the website, and then you can also search my YouTube channel and my SoundCloud channel if you want to. That's the audios. But we have a lot of information there. If you want to make an appointment, I think you should. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Catch you next time.
Cold, drafty windows all winter, painfully.
Okay. Well, thank you, social media folks. Do appreciate it. Make sure if you follow us on Facebook, do it on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram too, vice versa. We want to get as many people as we can following us. So, and tell your friends if you want to make an appointment, 844-44-DR-JOE. See you.